Hey, 49er fans, so we got another week, another big game. This week is the week that we have the big Seattle game. Like, we already got beat by them earlier in the season, but this is our chance to redeem ourselves, a chance really to finish the Seahawks for the season. They're at 3-8 right now. We're at 6-5. But with a loss here for the Seahawks, I really believe that this will be it for them. Their season will be pretty much done. Uh, you never want to really count Russell Wilson and Seahawks out. They somehow find him and Crooked Pete always find a way to usually make the playoffs. But for us, it's a chance to continue the win streak, continue the positive momentum. Uh, Especially with the losses that we've had in the last game, with losing Fred Warner for, well, we don't even know if we lost him yet. Like, he might play tomorrow, but conventional wisdom probably says that he doesn't. The biggest loss is going to be Debo. I think everybody can agree on that. He's been our whole offense this season, and losing him in the run game, losing him in the pass game, it's going to be, and just having him for eye candy's sake, pre-snap, is going to be a huge loss for our offense. With that being said, I mean, there's always the possibility that somebody could step up because we do have talent on that side of the ball. Um, but I'm more interested in really taking the Seahawks out for the season. I would love for the 49ers to be the team to finish them for the season, and possibly for this might be the end of the Carroll Russ era. If you really look at what's going on over there, it seems a little dysfunctional, but you never know. It's the way that everybody kind of glamorizes everything. You never know how it really is behind closed doors. They could retool next season and then be right back to where they are. But for this season, they're having one of our seasons where they got the injuries. They have little to no running game. They have they have really good receivers and Lockett and Metcalf, and a good tight end in Everett. I feel like Everett is it could be really good in this offense. I mean, but with Russ playing, but Russ has just been subpar ever since he came back early from the injury. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I just want to go over. We do this every week. I just want to go over what pregame, what we're looking for, what we're looking to happen, what we're looking to see this week. Um, do maybe the 49ers move to the fifth seed after this week? Uh, is it going to be a blowout, or is it going to be another close nail biter 49er Seahawk game that that could potentially turn around the Seahawks season, which was exactly what we don't want. So I'm going to start with the offense. It's really important that we start. It all starts with the run. I talk about this every week. It all starts with the run. And how are they going to do that with Debo not in the game? Uh, because I feel like he was a terrific change of pace guy, being like running from doing sweeps, and then even up the middle, he's been making like gashing defenses for the run. So I think we're really going to miss that portion. With that being said, Elijah Mitchell has been great all season. He has a potential to be 1,000-yard back this season, and I would love to see this kid uh, continue have another 100-yard game and just kind of pace our running game. I'd love to see us run the ball another 40 times. Now, with that being said, I would like to see them dial back Elijah Mitchell's carries. He's a rookie, and I think he's averaged like 27 carries the last 3 games. Maybe is it 3, or I think it's 2. But either way, we don't want to give him that many carries. We're just getting Hasty back this week. It looks like, and he's probably obviously going to have a limited role at best. But I guess my question would be: are we going to see more him cut more into Elijah Mitchell's carries, or is he going to cut into Jeff Wilson's carries? I tend to think he's probably going to cut into Jeff Wilson's carries the way that Kyle talks about Elijah Mitchell. He talks about Elijah. He just has glowing remarks about Elijah Mitchell, and I think he really loves this kid. And when Kyle falls in love with a guy, he's going to drop just like Debo. He going to find ways to get this guy touches, and it's going to be he's going to get as many touches as he can handle. So until the wheels fall off, that's the way Kyle does. So, but yeah, it all starts with the run. How many carries are our backs going to get? I think they have a chance to really do it by committee, and I think both Wilson and Hasty should cut in. I think that they should cut into and keep Mitchell down to 20 carries, but we'll see what happens. Like that's what I would do. I'm not Kyle Shanahan. Who's gonna the other question is who's gonna pick up the slack for Debo? Now, I think the eye candy aspect of Debo is the biggest aspect of what we're gonna miss from Debo. Not only his production, because his production has been great, like with the running game, and before that, before the last two games, he was doing it with the pass game. He's got 1,000 yards receiving, but the bigger issue I have for the offense is he was a huge decoy for the Jawan Jennings and the Brandon Ayuk's. I think this is a chance for Brandon Ayuk really to grow his role in this offense, and this could be tomorrow has the potential to be a coming out party for Ayuk for this season. I don't think that they are going to use Kittle. I don't think Kittle's touches are going to get an uptick. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Kyle's kind of happy with what Kittle's doing and using him mostly for blocking, which I can't really argue. I think it keeps Kittle healthy, and Kittle's is one of our best blockers. So why hurt what works? And is he he's a great pass catcher, but at the same time, I don't want to see Kittle get hurt and then we lose that blocking aspect because in the running game. I know that I heard a couple of people say that the stats don't bear out that the running game is any better with Kittle in there, but I don't care what about stats when it comes to that kind of stuff. Kittle is a great his energy. They need his energy on the field, and I think it's more important that we have him on the field. He doesn't have to get a bunch of touches for him to make an impact. But Ayuk, I think he is explosive. I've said it a few times in past videos. I really want this kid to get more touches because when Jimmy throws him the ball, when he does get it to him in space, you can see you can see him pop off the screen, and like he's got explosive ability. But quite frequently, Jimmy doesn't hit him in stride. Jimmy hits him high across the middle, and then he gets popped, or he can't really do much after the catch. But last game, he got it in space, and I think he was averaging I think he only caught the ball 3 times, but he was still 30 yards per catch or something to that effect. So it's just important that they get Ayuk should have. I want to see him get at least 6 to 7 catches, at least double his output from last week. And then I would love to see Jennings get more involved. Sherfield is an interesting piece because you saw him last week make a really nice contested catch over the middle, and I feel like that guy has some grit to him, but I love Jawan Jennings' grit. He really likes to contest those cornerbacks. He really likes to bully people around, which with his size, it's great to see because it just sets a tone for the running game. Not only for the running game, but it takes their heart away when it comes time for them to try and guard him on the passes. So Yeah, I would love to see Jennings get more involved if he can. If he can, he's not going to get much separation because he's not that fast. But he can catch those contested balls over the middle, and he is athletic. Like I think we saw a few screens from him in the preseason. I think they can do more with him. So the 49ers actually have some talent at wide receiver, and I just think that it's going to be really interesting to see what Kyle how Kyle schemes it up without that glaring hole of Debo Samuel back there. Um, but yeah, it could be either him or Sherfield. Like as long as we get the win, I don't care who it is. Uh, but at the end of the day, I think the way that he has been treating Jennings, I think it's going to be Jennings. Um, but and then the last person I'm going to talk about on the offense, of course, is Jimmy. All this talk that I've just talked about the offense, and for me not to even mention the quarterback is kind of probably weird for most teams, but I don't want to get too down on Jimmy. I know everybody is kind of that. All I see on Twitter and Facebook and other places is that, oh, Jimmy's playing so well and all this other. Jimmy is still sailing balls. Jimmy is still missing, got throwing terrible passes. Jimmy is still inconsistent. Jimmy. So, but what Jimmy does do well is he seems to do well making the big throw. So, which Jimmy do we see in this game? Like I'm really interested. I think that he's gonna game up for this game. I have a feeling. I don't know. I just have a feeling he's gonna game up, and we might actually see them only run the ball 30 times. Jimmy might actually get 25 to 30 throws this game. What's gonna happen? How many picks do you think he's gonna throw? If he throws the ball 30 times, I think he gets at least a pick, if not two. And there will probably, if he only gets a pick, there will probably be multiple throws that we think should have been picked. So I don't mean to get down on Jimmy, but that's just the ball. Those are the balls that he throws. Every game, there's multiple throws that should have been picked. So what which how it's going to work out, your guess is as good as mine. But Jimmy does tend to game up for these big games like this, and it is a big game. I think all the games going forward for the 49ers are big games because we're fighting for seeding at this point. Um, you're not going to hear me say none of these games are a big game. I think all these games are a big game, and they all have there is no such thing as a trap game going forward. They should be fighting and clawing and scraping for every single win. But let's switch over to the defense. The defense now, Seattle has two really good wide receivers in Metcalf and Lockett, and in my humble opinion, I think they're more explosive. Not a ton, but I think they're more explosive than Jefferson and Thielen that we faced last week. People might not agree. Metcalf has been struggling to get targets the last couple of games, and he's been kind of vocal about it, which I don't know. Never goes over well. Never goes over well for your locker room. Never goes over well with your quarterback. It's just a bad look all the way around. But the guy is supremely talented. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the hands. Um, they've got to find a way to get him the ball, to get the ball in his hands. I don't understand it. I don't understand how they're not trying to get the ball in his hands, but it could just be their offense. I know I was listening to Locked On 49ers the other day, and they had the crossover issue with Corbin that does it for the Seahawks, and Corbin made a comment basically saying that the offense coordinator for the Seahawks, I don't think the team thinks he's that good. I think he probably won't be there after this season. But who knows who will be there after in the Seahawks after this season if they don't make the playoffs. So, but as far as their defense on the defensive side goes, who are we going? How are they going to roll coverage? Who are they going to roll coverage to? Because they absolutely cannot play straight up Metcalf and Lockett. It's going to be the same thing. If everybody remembers last week, I tried to tell everybody that they would roll the coverage to Jefferson and they would let Thielen go off, and that's pretty much what happened. They tried to adjust towards the end, but uh, that's pretty much what happened. I think they're going to do the same thing this week. I think they're going to roll the coverage to Metcalf, and I think they're going to let Lockett go off because, to be honest, Russell has not been even looking at Lockett. I don't know what's going on over there in Seattle, but they are definitely have the potential to sun the 49ers secondary. So we shall see how that works out. I think Emmanuel Mosley is doing an outstanding job this season. I want that to be said. He's done an outstanding job tackling, and to the point to where the other teams very rarely even throw his way. So, uh, not that he's a supreme, but I mean, it's just that Norman is so terrible in coverage that, and somebody said something interesting about Norman yesterday. I was on Spaces. They said that even though Norman is terrible in coverage, we don't always understand what his responsibility is, and we don't always. There's always the what did he say? There's always the he understands that he's older, he's not as fast, so he's going to try and affect the game in other ways, which his tackling is, I would say, for a corner is pretty good. He punches the ball out. I think he's got 7 forced fumbles. So he kind of makes up for what he doesn't have in athleticism and coverage ability with forcing the fumble after the guy catches the ball and makes a play, which the 49ers really lack for playmakers on defense. I think Hufanga has a lot of potential to be that guy to make plays on this team, but for the most part, 49ers don't have playmakers in their defensive secondary. So maybe Norman is what they need. Even we just have to put up with the terrible plays and the terrible blown coverages that he allows to happen. And yeah, we'll see how it. But I think there's potential here for Russ to really have a get back game against our defense. Um, I think a lot of our coverage is bad coverage has been masked by the wins that we've had, and we played a lot of bend but don't break. So we were giving up yards, but they're just not letting them score. Uh, which, hey, I can't argue with that. Like that's a best case scenario for the guy with all the injuries that we've got. If we can do that this week, that'd be great. But the other part is that I want to look at is the linebackers and the tight end matchup. So they've got Everett, and we're missing Fred Warner and missing Greenlaw. Well, we don't know. We don't really know what. No, Greenlaw's out. Um, we don't know what's going to happen with. There's another guy that's in the concussion protocol. So it's going to pretty much be Alshire and Flanagan Foles. So those are the two, and to be honest, both of them, Alshire's had a great season so far. I think I think he's had a great season. Flanagan Foles has been solid. He's been solid also. So it could be a lot worse. But I think how they're going to mask not having the linebacker depth is that they're going to run out there those 3 safety looks that they've been running out for I saw it a lot last week, but you may see a lot more of it in this game. I think they might play Hufanga more to that mid and close to the line of scrimmage just to keep the running game at bay. I think our defensive line has played admirable, but Bosa is just a beast. Armstead has been solid. He's been Armstead. He's been solid. Nothing too special. He's only going to do that much. So he's not going to hurt you, but he's not gonna be a world beater either. So, but I mean, I'll take solid. There's another key that we're getting Hurst back. We're getting Maurice Hurst back this week. So that could be a real big issue for Seattle is run. I don't think that they'll be able to run the ball. Not that they've been wanting to run the ball a lot lately, but and they don't really have any running backs. But the 49ers kind of play down to their competition. So, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what how they stuff out the running game, um, and if the defensive line can stand pat and be as good as they have been against the run, against the pass. Like, I mean, I think we get a little bit of pressure, but the reality is that we just don't get a lot of licks on the quarterback. I think teams try to get the ball out a little quicker against us, um, and that's also because our secondary just isn't really. I don't think they're really that good. I think we have good safeties, but I don't think we. I think our in Ward and Tart, and even mixing some Hufanga there, but our corners are, I mean, mostly solid, but like I said, Norman, I just feel like he's a weak link, and with our linebacker situation this week, Alshire has been great, but he is. I don't think he's that great in coverage. So, and playing that Warner role and being responsible for being the quarterback of the defense, we'll see how that goes. So, with having Warner and Greenlaw out, I guess my biggest question for the defense is Seattle going to run the ball? How much are they going to run the ball? I think they will try to run the ball more this game just to take some of the pressure off of Russell. There's been a lot of reports for the last couple of weeks about his struggles, and I think they just need to take some of the pressure off of him and at least try to run the ball. When that is the best Russell, when they run the ball. I don't care what he wants. I don't care what he wants. They if they run the ball, he can be dynamic, and we all know that. Like Russell complaining about being the focal point and being the making the offense go through him. Stop, just stop. Do what works. You win when they run the ball. So I don't know what we're complaining about. Their offensive line is terrible, and they cannot protect Russell for nothing. But can our defensive line contain Russell? We always struggle against mobile quarterbacks. But I think Russ is starting to lose a step now. So let's see how much he can get out of the pocket like he's normally can. So with all that being said, my final score for this game, I feel, is going to be 49ers 24, Seattle 21. I still have us winning the game. I think it's going to be, I heard some people talking about blowing them out. I don't think that that's ever going to happen with the 49er and Seattle game. But I do think we win the game. I think that it's going to be close. I think that what's going to happen is that 49ers are going to go up early, and that we're going to leave the door open for Russell to try and make a comeback, and he's just going to fall short. That's my prediction. But I think this has potential to be a classic game of the season for the 49ers. Seattle and 49ers is always a good game. So I think this has potential to be a really good game. I think that this has the potential for Russ to have a get back game, and to start throwing for yards, start throwing getting some of his game back, some of his consistency back. So I fully expect him to look a lot better than he has the last couple of weeks. With that being said, I think this game has an opportunity for Jimmy to get more throws than he has been. Not that I want to see it, but I think that the game, with the injuries and everything, has all the potential for Jimmy to throw the ball more. I think that's the only way they're going to get the ball into some of their other playmakers' hands. And so it may end up having to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Our offensive line has been playing well. If they can control the line of scrimmage and control the clock, it's entirely possible that we run the same game script that we've been running, and I would love to see it. But I think this could be the game where Jimmy ends up having to throw at least 30 times. And then my last key to the game is turnovers. We cannot give them any turnovers. We cannot throw picks. We can't fumble. We cannot. I don't care if we have to punt a whole bunch of times. I don't want to see turnovers. Because if we have more than one turnover in this game, I don't see the Niners winning this game. Then my score is going to flip flop. So this is with the my final score is with the expectation that we don't turn over the ball, that we have one or less turnovers, and that we have and that we're controlling the clock. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. That would be my game script. I'm not Kyle. Kyle always kind of throws us for a loop every now and then, but that's what I see happening. That's kind of the momentum that I see happening. So, thank you guys for listening. Like as always, like this is my pregame. After the game is over, I'll have a post game. I really thank you guys for listening and giving me likes on the YouTube on my YouTube channel. And please hit subscribe or hit the like button. Give me some love there. But yeah, I really appreciate all the compliments and the great feedback that I've gotten over the last few weeks from people. I'm still learning how to do this, but yeah, I appreciate all the feedback. So thank you guys, and go Niners.